Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the video? This is another paid request. This time for the movie reviewer next door. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, reviews, topics, commentaries, reactions, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 1984 film Angel. Now, it stars Donna Wilkes, who people may remember her as one of the main teenagers in Jaws 2. Sadly, she didn't have much of a career after this film. There was talks for her being in the sequel, Avenging Angel, but I guess she wanted a bit too much money, which, honestly, they should have paid her. But they didn't, and then she kind of did a few other things, and I think just retired for a while. You also have... Before I get into the rest of the cast, this gist of the story is Donna Wilkes plays an honor student who, how do I put it? Honor student by day, hooker by night. I think she was like 22 at the time, but she was supposed to be playing a 15-year-old who again went to school, got straight A's, but then was a hooker at night. And you come to find out that her dad left her many years ago, and even her mom left her like 3 or so years ago. So instead of going to foster home, she had to find a way to make money, and this was the way to do it. Now, while she's doing all this, there is a killer on the loose going after hookers, and this killer is a very creepy guy that will kill someone and perform a little bit of necrophilia. Now, all this stuff I'm explaining feels like it would be much more of a sleazy exploitation, but it's not. So some people may get upset that it's not as sleazy as it sounds. Didn't bother me. I mean, there is some nudity, but everything else is very, I wouldn't call it tame, but it's very manageable. And I think some people may be upset about that. To me, I didn't mind that. I thought it worked better for the story that it was telling. And I thought Donna Wilkes did a really good job as Angel, also known as Molly. Now, other people, she has her street family. She has this drag queen person named May. There's this aging cowboy who worked in the movies, played by Rory Calhoun, who was in Hell Comes to Frog Town with Roddy Piper. He was in this B movie called Motel Hell. All kind of critters for Farmer Vincent's Fritters. He was in Motel Hell. Rory Calhoun was in a few other stuff. He does a really good job here. He's a lot of fun. Definitely becomes prominent by the end. And you also have this street performer nicknamed Yo-Yo. And you have these other hookers that are friends with Molly / Angel. Other people, Gus Gorman, who I remember as the bad guy in this very underrated film called Night of the Juggler with James Brolin. Can we somehow, someway get that on Blu-ray, please? But yeah, Gus Gorman, he played the bad guy in that. He plays the lieutenant on the case of this killer, and he befriends Angel and have like a father-daughter bond grow throughout it. The killer is John Deal. Now, he was in Stripes. He was a guy that seemed pretty dumb, and he was mainly paired up with John Candy's character. He was also in the Miami Vice TV show, because you had Don Johnson and his partner, and then you had two other cops that would kind of help him out, and one of those two was John Deal. And he'd be in other stuff too, but he plays the killer, and I thought it was an interesting choice that he isn't really given any dialogue. He has like one or two pieces of dialogue at the very end, but the rest of it is silent performance. But he creates a pretty creepy killer. I mean, there's a scene where probably the most unique way I've seen someone open up an egg, because he opens up the tip, the top with the tip of a knife, and he's drinking it. But you kind of get the idea he's sucking it like a baby would suck a titty to get some milk. Just look at a picture of like his mom or something. And I thought, okay, it's telling a story of how sick, perverted backstory of this character, but yet doing it with no dialogue. I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was actually a pretty good way of, saying all that. It may look ridiculous to people, but again, in this person's mind being so crazy, to him it's normal. And again, it told the story without dialogue. That it's not the easiest thing to do. I also thought the musical score was very fitting and nicely done. And I realized the score is Craig Stefan. Craig Stefan did The Last Starfighter, Remo Williams, Elm Street 4 The Dream Master. Very underrated composer because, of course, people talk about Jerry Goldsmith, John Williams, even James Horner. But Craig Stefan kind of gets lost in there. But you look at it, he's done a lot of good musical scores. I mean, The Last Starfighter score is fantastic. He does a good job here as well. And I think what made this film work is the way the city is shot back to the day when the city was a different animal compared to today. And that's also helped by the DP, which is Andrew Davis, yes. The guy that would go on to direct Above the Law, Under Siege, Code of Silence, Collateral Damage with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was the director of photography with this movie. Andrew Davis. So, it's not a bad looking film. And I thought with Donna Wilkes' performance and making me feel a bit of sorry for her. Like I say, it's a bit weird, but kind of interesting that the way they made her life on the streets seem a bit more upbeat and not as sleazy. Because we know she's having sex with clients, but they don't go into that. They don't really show that. I guess that makes sense because even though she's 22, she's supposed to be playing a 15-year-old. So I thought they did it much... What's the word I'm looking for? Responsible. They did it in a responsible nature. But just how she's friendly with the other clients and... I mean, other than this, necrophiliac killer, the rest of her nightly fun seems not too bad. It probably in reality it'd be much more abhorrent or much more down and dirty and dangerous. Unless maybe it was different in the 80s, I don't know. But other than that, it was still interesting to see this collection of quirky characters. Again, this drag performer, May. The other person that he kind of banters with is a woman named Sully. I forget the actress's name, but I thought the way her and the drag queen May, the way they interacted with each other, kind of a love-hate relationship, was kind of fun. I thought I had some funny bits of dialogue and banter between the two. I thought Gus Gorman did a good job as a lieutenant, trying to talk with Donna Wilkes, and she has a good scene where she has to fess up as to what happened to her mom, and she's waiting here hoping that her dad will come back. I thought she gave a pretty good performance. And that's the thing, is that the characters and the way they interacted with each other really made the film work. Because it's not an action film, it's not an exploitation film to the point of, absolute sleaze, but I thought it worked well as a movie with the characters. Oh, another person I recognize, there's a client that Donna Wilkes has, and it's Peter Jason. Peter Jason, he was in They Live. He's been in quite a few John Carpenter films, Peter Jason. I think he was in The Thief from L.A. If you look up Peter Jason, you'd be like, oh, it's that guy. One of those that guys. I recognize that guy. It's Peter Jason. He's having a hoot in the minute or two he's on screen. What are you doing in there? Is your mouth busy? And I thought it had some really cool elements to it that get in the spoilers. For example, the killer gets caught halfway through. I'm like, okay. And he shoots himself out of the police station like he was the Terminator. Which, funny enough, the Terminator came out in 1984. He shoots himself out of it. I thought, okay. That was pretty... That doesn't happen every day. One thing I think they could have done more is utilize her elements of school. Because they do show her at school, but pretty much the most that they show is either a teacher trying to get her to do more extracurricular activities, this dirty guy trying to pick her up, then later on trying to give her money once they find out she's a hooker. And then the jobs picking on her a little bit, but I thought at times the school stuff felt a bit of an afterthought. And I kind of wish that there's a bit more element of the school. Either some close calls before they're found out, or I don't know, just something else, something more to it, where more of these elements collide. Like maybe the killer stalking her in the school, or the whole finale ends up being at the school. Like during school she has to escape, or during school she has to go somewhere, finds out a friend's dead, and then has to chase him, and then leads him into the school. And so her and her friends, or street performer friends, street family, or within the school, and you see those kind of worlds collide. Or maybe like she has friends at school who meet the friends on the street, and they get together to help out Donna Wilkes' character. Like I said, the school stuff at times felt like a bit of an afterthought. Although there's a fun bit where the jocks find out she's a hooker and try to get her in, but she has a gun, scares them, and even makes one piss his pants. Like, that was a funny bit. And the finale is entertaining as well, spoiler, where she gets a gun and is chasing the guy through Hollywood Boulevard, chasing the killer, shooting, pop, 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 while the lieutenant's chasing after her. And so they're going all over Hollywood Boulevard, chasing the guy, shooting him. Some nice shots of the street, some nice DP work from Andrew Davis. And Rory Calhoun gets a great moment, because I liked his character. It's pretty quirky, interesting. And his 6-shooters can put real bullets in, and he's like, pop, 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 shoots the shit out of the killer. That was a very satisfying moment. Interesting that Donna Wilkes is the one that kills him, though. That is Rory Calhoun that does it. But I guess I forgive it, because she's so young, and she made the effort to chase the guy and get him in position. And then Rory Calhoun, the aging cowboy that they built up, is able to finish the job. Pretty rousing moment for that character. And like I said, I thought the movie was a nice piece of 80s delight. Like I said, I thought Donna Wilkes did a good job making me feel sorry and feel a bit for her plight. And I think she could have done big things, but Sally, her agent, or I don't know what the hell happened. Sally, that wasn't the case. But she could have done more. And this was a nice surprise. I remember someone saying that I guess Vinegar Syndrome released this. I don't know if it's still in print or what. Although I think you have to buy... Do you have to buy like all 3 of them? Because there were 4 movies. There's Avenging Angel. There's Angel 3. Now, there is an Angel 4, but from what I understand, they did not put that on a set because that was like a failed TV pilot. And then it was put into a movie. So it was kind of like still a different studio, because it was supposed to be a TV pilot that failed and didn't succeed, so then they put out a movie. So I guess that's why those intricacies of the studio is why it wasn't put into, I guess, whatever the 3-pack is. I guess I could look real quick. Vinegar Syndrome, Angel. Sorry, I'm just curious as to what it has here, if it pops up, because my internet is not the fastest. Well, there's the Angel Collection. Well, I guess you can maybe buy it separately. And then there's an Angel Collection. So I guess you maybe can buy it separately. Again, apologies that this is not the fastest internet. Yeah, you can buy it separately. Okay, cool. I appreciate that at least. Yeah, maybe one day. On their website, $25 for the first film, $50 for all three of them. The first film has interview with Donna Wilkes, interview with co-writer-director Robert O'Neil, interview with co-writer Joseph Cala, interview with composer Craig Stefan, deleted scenes and outtakes, trailers for Angel, Avenging Angel, and Angel 3. And yes, the Angel Collection has the 3 movies. Because the second one has interview with Betsy Russell, interview with co-writer-director Vincent O'Neil, and co-writer Joseph Cala. And then the third one has interview with writer-director Tom DeSimone, newly scanned and restored in 2K. So there you go. But sorry, going off track. Angel, definitely worth a look if you like these type of 80s movies, especially for its quirkiness and its interesting characters. And like I said, I thought John Deal did a good job as the killer. I thought that Rory Calhoun was a lot of fun. Like I said, Donna Wilkes did a nice job as the lead, and that definitely carried the film. It didn't feel too long. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later.